Hello, this is Janila, the person behind Crafty Crochet Castle, and in this video I'll show you the pattern to crochet these tumblers. You can finish these tumblers either as a plush by adding some facial details or as a keychain. You can customize this by embroidering the letters, and these can be used as gifts, toys, or bag charms. These tumblers are popular right now, and you can make your very own by following this tutorial, and also you can make it in the colors of your choice. I hope you will crochet this along with me. Now let us discuss about the pattern. This pattern is very simple and very quick to make. The tutorial is beginner friendly, and I will be explaining the stitches in detail as when we do them, so even beginners can follow along very easily. The size of the finished product would depend upon the yarn you're using. I followed the same pattern for this project, but I've used a bigger yarn here. This is Bernat Blanket yarn, and the project has turned out to be much bigger. This size is cuddly and soft, and it is perfect for little ones to snuggle along and play. And this project is made by using worsted weight yarn, and it is much smaller. This size would be perfect as keychains or bag charms, or even as little gifts. The tumbler made by using Bernat Blanket yarn is about 11 inches in tall from the tip of the straw to the base, and the tumbler using the worsted weight yarn is about 5.5 inches tall. For this project, I'm using worsted weight yarn here. This is 100% acrylic yarn in the colors dark pink, light pink, and gray. You can use any yarn for this project, but make sure to choose a hook that is 1 or 2 sizes smaller than the recommended hook size for your yarn weight. The details about the recommended hook size can be found in your yarn label, and it would be something like this. Since this is a worsted weight yarn, which is size 4 yarn, and the recommended hook size is 5 mm over here, I'm using a 4.5 mm crochet hook. Gauge is not a critical factor for this project, but make sure to crochet it tightly so that our stuffing is not seen through the project. You would also need scissors, yarn needle, stitch markers, and some polyester fiber fill. The other optional materials for this project are safety eyes and black yarn and needle if you would like to finish it as a plushie with eyes and mouth. And if you would like to finish it as a keychain, you would need some keyring. The details of all these materials are in the description box below. For these tumblers that I've crocheted with Bernat Blanket yarn, I've used a 7 mm crochet hook along with all the other materials. Now let us get started working on our project. We'll be crocheting the cup first. So I'm taking my pink yarn over here. We'll start our project by doing a magic circle. To do so, I'll hold my yarn like this, and I will wrap it around my 2 fingers. And I will cross it over at the point where the yarn meets, and I will pinch here. Now you can take this little loop over here and insert the hook inside it, yarn over, and bring a loop. This is from the skein end. Now take all the fingers out and carefully hold everything in place, making sure the loop on the hook is not too loose or not too tight, and it's of the correct tension. And also you can hold the yarn that is coming from the skein. Now you can yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. So there we have formed our magic circle, and we'll be working our stitches on these 2 strands of yarn over here. This ring is adjustable, and if you find it hard to do a magic circle, you can always do chain 2 and work your round 1 stitches in the second chain from the hook. So now let's continue working on our project, and for round 1 I will do 8 single crochet inside the ring. To do a single crochet, I'll insert my hook, yarn over, and bring up a loop. So now we have a total of 2 loops on the hook. Once again, make sure the tension is correct and it's not too loose and not too tight. Now I will yarn over and pull through both the loops on the hook. So this stitch is called as the single crochet. I'll do 7 more single crochets in here so that we have a total of 8 single crochet for round 1. So once when we completed all 8 single crochet, if you're unsure of the total number of stitches, you can turn your project to the top, and you will notice the stitches over here in the form of V. Each V is 1 stitch. So you can count to make sure if you have the correct number of stitches. So once when you do that, we can close the magic circle opening. To do so, hold the stitches with one hand and grab the tail in the other. you can pull the tail and see how this opening is getting closed. Make sure to pull it all the way through. And there is your completed round 1. For this pattern, we'll be working in rounds, and I'm not going to join at the end of each round unless I mention it. You can use a stitch marker or a piece of another color yarn to mark the last stitch of each round. By doing so, we can work on the repeat pattern easily without having to count the total number of stitches. So now let us work on round 2. For round 2, I will be doing 2 single crochet in every stitch around. So I'll insert my hook in the very first single crochet over here, and I will do 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So here's my 1 single crochet, and here's the second single crochet made in the same stitch. Likewise, I will do 2 single crochet in every stitch over here. This round will have a total of 16 single crochets. So now I'm at the last stitch over here. When we come to the stitch, you can remove the stitch marker, crochet the stitches over here. So in this round, we'll be working 2 single crochet in this stitch. To end the round 2, we'll be joining with a slip stitch. So I'll be joining in the back loop only of the next stitch. So normally when we're working a stitch, we'll insert a hook like this inside the V over here. The loop that is away from you or towards the tip of the hook is the back loop, and the loop that is towards you is the front loop. So to do the slip stitch, I'll insert my hook only in the back loop like this, and then I will yarn over, bring a loop through the stitch and a loop through the loop on the hook. So there we have joined with a slip stitch in the back loop only. So now, because this is the last stitch, I'll be placing the stitch marker in this stitch. Now we can put a pause to this project and secure this magic circle opening. So sometimes when you're working on a project, this magic circle will tend to open up. To prevent this, all we have to do is turn the project to the wrong side, grab the magic circle tail, pull it tight so it is completely closed, and then we can thread this tail in a yarn needle and secure it with a knot on the wrong side. Make sure to take only the loops in the wrong side when you're securing it with a knot. We do not need to weave in this tail as this is an amigurumi and this will be inside of our plush. So now we can continue working on our project. So you can turn the project to the right side and continue working round 3. To do round 3, we'll do a chain 1 first. This chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Now I will do 1 single crochet in the back loop only of every stitch around. So I'll be inserting my hook in the back loops only and do a single crochet. I'll be repeating this for all the stitches over here. We have made a chain 1 over here, so make sure to skip that chain and continue working on top of the single crochet for the next round. So now let's work on the next 4 rounds, which is rounds 4 to 7. These 4 rounds will have the same pattern, and the pattern is 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So basically I'll be working 1 single crochet in every stitch like this all the way around. And when I'm at the last stitch over here, I'll remove the stitch marker, crochet 1 single crochet in this stitch, and that would complete 1 round. In the same way, I would crochet 3 more rounds so that we have a total of 4 rounds with the same repeat pattern. So now I'll be crocheting these 4 rounds off camera, and I'll meet you when I complete round 7. This is how our project will look at the end of round 7, and after completing 7th round, I'm going to join with a slip stitch in my next stitch. So this time I'll be inserting my hook inside both the loops over here, that is the entire stitch, and I will work on a slip stitch like how I would normally do. And I'm going to place the stitch marker in this last stitch, that is the slip stitch. Now let's work on round 8. For round 8, I will do a chain 1. This chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Now, for the repeat pattern of the round, we'll be working only in the front loops. So make sure to insert your hook only in the loop that is near you and leave the back loop just like that, and we can work on our stitches. So the repeat pattern is 2 single crochet in the forward loops of the next stitch and 1 single crochet in the front loop only of the next stitch. So this is going to be the pattern for all the remaining stitches in the round. The pattern is 2 single crochet in the front loop only of the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the front loop only of the next stitch. So I'll be repeating this pattern all the way around till I'm at the stitch marker over here. By working on the front loop only, we'll have this ridge over here. Same way, while working on the back loop, we have a ridge over here that separates the bottom of our tumbler to the sides, and this ridge in round 7 will give that shape to our tumbler. Now I will crochet the remaining stitches in the round off camera, and I'll meet you at the end of round 8. After completing the last stitch of round 8, our project looks like this. Now I'm going to join with a slip stitch on top of the first stitch over here. Make sure to skip the single crochet and work your slip stitch in the first single crochet. And this round will have a total of 24 single crochets. Now for round 9, I will do a chain 1. This chain again does not count as a stitch, and I will be working in the front loops of all the stitches over here. The pattern for this round is 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So all you have to do is crochet 1 single crochet in the front loop only for all the stitches over here. This again will add to the shape of the tumbler, and this round will have a total of 24 single crochets. So I will crochet all the stitches in the round, and I'll meet you when I'm at the last stitch of round 9. This is how our project will look at the end of round 9. We will not be joining with a slip stitch here, so you can mark the last stitch with a stitch marker and continue working on the next rounds. So now for the next 9 rounds, which is rounds 10 to 18, we'll be following the same pattern. The pattern is 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So I'll be crocheting 1 single crochet like this in each round for a total of 9 rounds, and I'll meet you at the end of round 18. Each round will have a total of 24 single crochet. After completing 9 rounds of single crochet alone, our tumbler has gotten much taller, and this is how it would look. Now I'm yet to crochet the last single crochet for round 18. The reason is we'll be changing the color to gray to crochet the next round. So we'll be changing color in the last stitch. So I'll show you how to change the color. To do so, I will start my single crochet like how I would normally do. And instead of yarning over and finishing the stitch with the same color yarn, I'm going to grab the gray yarn. I will hold it behind like this, and I will yarn over and pull through both the loops on the hook. Now you can grab both the tails, that is the pink tail and the gray tail, and you can pull it. Because this is an amigurumi, you can secure it with a knot on the wrong side as well. This will be on the inside of our project, so you can do so, but otherwise you can leave it as such and weave it in at the end over here. So now we have successfully changed our color over here. So now for round 19, which will be done in gray, I will do 1 single crochet in every stitch around. This round will have a total of 24 single crochets. There are other methods to change color as well. You can do your most preferred one. So now we'll be crocheting the last stitch for round 19 in gray, and the next round we'll be working with a light pink yarn. So I will be changing the color in the last stitch. So I will start my stitch like how I would do with this color yarn, and I'm going to grab my next color yarn, and I will complete this single crochet with the next color yarn. Make sure to pull both the tails securely, and at this time we can finish off the gray yarn as well as the dark pink yarn. To finish it off, we can just leave a tail and trim the yarns. So there we have changed the color for the next round, and this is going to be my round 20. If you would prefer, you can also secure these two tails with a knot on the inside. And this is how the inside of our project would look, and this is how the outside would look. So now for round 20, I will be doing 1 single crochet in every stitch around. This round will have a total of 24 single crochet. At the end of the round, we'll be joining with a slip stitch and we'll be fastening off the pink yarn. So after completing 24 single crochets here, I'll be joining with a slip stitch in my next stitch, and we can fasten it off. To fasten it off, make sure to leave a tail and then trim the yarn. Next, we can yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook all the way through like this, and you can tighten the yarn. We can weave in this tail later, and this is how our tumbler would look. Now let us crochet the handle. We'll be taking the same yarn as that of the tumbler, and we will start off by doing a slip knot. To do a slip knot, I will wrap the yarn around my finger and cross it over at the point where the yarn meets. Next, I will pinch here, take this little loop out, and I will insert my hook inside the loop. I will yarn over and bring a loop, and I will grab the tail and the loop on the hook and pull this tight. Now we have a loop on the hook, and you can pull the yarn from the skein end to adjust the tension on the loop on the hook. So there we have made a slip knot. There are other methods to do slip knot as well. You can do your most preferred one, and then we'll do a total of 16 chains. To do a chain, I will yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. So there is one chain. Make sure to crochet 15 more chains here. So once when we have a total of 16 chains, we can begin working on our handle. So in the second chain from the hook. So this is the first chain from the hook, and this is the second chain from the hook. So here I will insert my hook and I will be doing 1 single crochet. Now I will do another single crochet in the next 2 stitches over here. We can skip the next chain, and I will do 1 single crochet in the next 7 chains over here. Make sure to skip it and then do your single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. So now we have 4 more chains remaining here. I will skip my next chains, and in the next 3 chains I will be doing 1 single crochet each. Now we can leave a long tail and fasten it off over here. We'll be using this tail to sew the handle, so make sure the tail is long enough. Pull the handle on the skipped stitches, and this will form the shape of the handle. Now let us crochet the lid. I'm taking my gray yarn here. I will do a magic circle and 8 single crochet inside the ring for round 1. For this pattern also, we'll be crocheting in rounds, and I'm not going to join at the end of each round unless I mention it. At the end of the round, grab the tail and close the magic circle opening, and use a stitch marker to mark the last stitch of the round. Now for round 2, I will do 2 single crochet in every stitch around. This round will have a total of 16 single crochets. We have a little circle at the end of round 2. Now let's crochet the last round for our lid, which is round 3. For this round, the repeat pattern is 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next stitch. I'll be repeating this pattern all the way around, and round 3 will have a total of 24 single crochet. After completing 24th single crochet, you can join with a slip stitch in the next stitch, and we can fasten off over here, leaving the long tail. We'll be using this tail to sew the lid onto our tumbler, so make sure the tail is long enough. And this is our completed lid, which is a circle. Please make sure to secure the magic circle opening on the wrong side with a knot for this as well. Now let us crochet the straw. We'll be crocheting the base of the straw first and then the straw. So for the base of the straw, we'll be using the same color as that of the tumbler. So I'm taking this yarn, I will do a slip knot followed by chain 10. Now in the second chain from the hook, I will do 1 single crochet, and I will do a single crochet in the remaining 8 chains over here. This is my row 1, and we'll be having a total of 9 single crochets. After completing all the single crochets over here, we can fasten off over here, leaving a long tail. We'll be using this tail to attach this piece, so make sure the tail is long enough. So now let us crochet our straw. We'll be crocheting our straw on top of our straw base over here. So make sure to hold your straw base like this. And for the straw, we'll be working on the post of the stitches. So normally we'll be working on top of our stitches over here. So to work on the post, it means that we'll be inserting our hook like this on the middle of the stitch over here. And we'll be working around the stitch like this, like this. So this is the post of the stitch. So now in the third stitch, I'll be joining my gray yarn. So I will insert my hook on the third stitch. I will take my gray yarn and I will hold it like this, and I will yarn over and bring a loop. And I will yarn over and pull through. So this is how I'll be joining my yarn on the post of the stitch. Now let's work on the straw. For that, I will do chain 6. And on the second chain from the hook, I will do a slip stitch, and I will do a slip stitch in the remaining chains. And once when we complete 5 slip stitches over here, we can join with a slip stitch in the same post of the stitch, and then we can fasten off over here. There we have crocheted our straw on top of the base of the straw like this. Now let us see how to assemble our project. So here I have the tumbler, the lid, the straw, and the handle. So before we start assembling them, if you would like to attach eyes to your project, you can do so at this point. A tumbler would look like this if you attach eyes. I'm using 8mm safety eyes here, and I've used a black thread and needle to embroider the mouth. You can attach the eyes between round 16 and 17, approximately 3 stitches apart, and then the mouth below that. If you would like to crochet it just as the tumbler, you can finish assembling all the pieces without attaching the eyes. So the first step in the assembly is to take the handle and thread the long tail in a yarn needle. Now I will be sewing this on the side of a tumbler like this. So I will be attaching the top handle between round 17 and 18. And then I'm going to bring my needle through the inside of our project to between rounds 10 and 11. And then attach the bottom portion of our handle over here. Now I have attached the pieces. Now I'm weaving in both the tails. So I'm going to bring the tails to the inside of the project. And then you can secure it. To knot it on the inside, make sure to leave enough yarn so that the project does not lose its shape before you make a knot. You can put the tail on the inside, and there we have attached our handle. The next step is to fill this up with some polyester fiber fill. You can take some polyester fiber fill, break it apart into smaller pieces, and then you can stuff it up. Make sure to stuff it only till round 18. And now let us attach the lid on top of our tumbler. So I'm going to take my lid and I'm going to thread the long tail in a yarn needle and position the right side to be on the top. So I'm going to place it like this, and I'm going to sew it along the loops in round 19. I'm going to grab only the loops to attach it and not the entire stitch. So I'm going to sew it like this all the way around, and I will meet you after I sew the lid on top of our tumbler. After sewing on the lid, our project looks like this. Now let me show you how to weave in this tail. To weave in this tail, you can secure it with a knot on one of the loops over here. And then you can insert your needle next to the knot and bring the needle through the stuffing, and you can pull it out at any random spot. So when you do so, make sure to adjust your project so that it has not lost its shape because we've pulled it too much. So make sure to adjust it, and then you can take your needle out and trim the yarn over here. This is how we will weave in our tail in an amigurumi project. And then you can push this little tail inside. If you would like to attach a key ring to your project, you can do so at this point. To do so, I'm going to insert this yarn through the last link of our keychain over here, and then we can begin weaving it. To weave in this tail, I will be inserting my needle through the loops present in the wrong side. You can grab any set of loops. You can go in a circle, zigzag, or cover as many stitches as you want. Now begin going towards the project over here. So once when you're near the lid, you can insert your needle inside the project and you can weave it in. Now the last step in the amigurumi is to take a straw, position it like this on top of our project and sew it. I'm going to use the long tail from the base of the straw to sew it in place. Then we can weave in all the tails. You can also attach this using a hot glue and then weave in all the tails. I'll meet you once when I attach this. And this is how our completed tumbler looks. I hope you enjoy crocheting this along with me. Please show your support by subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching.